Okay, it is harder than it seems to actually get a video made when my art space is in the middle of my living room and everybody is home. So I'm going to give it another try. This may be like take 7. So I'm making a video to show some of the supplies that I use on making these cards from my very first video that's up on YouTube. So trying to make this quick-ish. These are the variety of different things, and just to be clear, I've been doing this for 3 years, and so I've taken quite a while to acquire these products, and I say that only because some of them are more expensive and there are alternatives, and I used what I had when I was first starting out and then slowly acquired different, maybe a little bit more specific items that I knew I would use and would want. So just to start, like, glue stick and Mod Podge are the two adhesives that I use in my art journaling, both in my journal. I use it in my journal. I use it on my paintings. I mean, my paintings they will have some sort of because I like to do mixed media even in my paintings. So to get the stuff to stick down, you want a glue. And the glue stick works fine for pages, like paper book pages and things like that, but it will not work for napkins or wrapping tissue paper because it'll just rip it. So you want a liquid adhesive of some kind, and Mod Podge is not expensive. And but it is like, it's just a watered down glue essentially, and I put it in this little thing, so this is what sits on my desk, and I use but you can get it at Michael's. You can get all of these things at Michael's or online or whatever, and I often wait for coupons if I'm picking them up at Michael's. So to get things to stick down, that's what I use, and you want to get the matte, not the glossy. You can go over it with a glossy if you really want a glossy finish, and I go over all of these at the very end with that to cover it, just to give it like water fastness and kind of just a more cohesive texture. Then the next thing I was using was this India ink, and India ink, it will stain your fingers for a little while, but it's that translucent layer that I would use, and you can buy it in a set. You can buy them individually, I think. I often like just put these on my wish list on Amazon, and for Christmases and birthdays, like this is how I acquired a lot of these things. Then these other paints, these Golden is a higher end acrylic brand, and they come in, like, this is a high flow liquid, then this is the next viscosity which would be a liquid, more liquid, but then they also have like a heavy duty that come in the tubes. A heavy body, it's not heavy duty, but like they come in a tube like this, and that would be a heavy body or a thicker. But you can also use like these kind that you can get in the craft section at Michael's. I have found these, I have a whole bunch of these that I have acquired in the large plastic bags from Value Village or Goodwill. You can totally use that paint. The other thing that I use was this is called a fine line, and it comes empty. It's an applicator, and I just fill it with I filled it with this version of the white, so white, and I use that, and it works great. I have it in white and black, and but you could use like a whiteout marker probably. That's one of those things that I over time like realized, oh, I really want this particular texture that you can get with, can't really see it, but you can get with paint when it creates, you can feel it, that you can't get necessarily with like a paint pen, which is what these are, and what makes those white dots. And they're opaque, so they work really well. They're a water-based paint, and they have like the shaker, in them, so you shake them up. And you can buy them in a set. Like I have the big thick ones, and I have the finer tip ones, and those are really, really good for just like, well, for any kind of paint marker. It's not a felt tip, like this is more of a felt tip, Faber-Castell. This is the large pit brushes, and they have them in this size too. And I love these. I use these a lot, but I only have like this many of them because again, they're like $6 a piece. Sometimes you can get them for $4 a piece. But they just have amazing colors and they blend really well. This is a Liquitex paint marker, so this is very similar to this, but this has that thick end. That's what made these pink lines. And I only own 3 of these. I have this pink one, I have a bright greenish one, and then I have an orange one. And those were definitely one of those things where I had a coupon and I got, you know, I just take my time and wait, or ask for them as a gift or something. So, which you could use like a Sharpie thick, they have those too. I think I even have one. Like this one's just Bic. Window, I guess it's a window marker, but I use that too. Like it's the same kind of tip. The other thing I couldn't think of the name of this was a palette knife, and these are just different sizes, and that's what I was using to spread the white or the teal around on that. And those are not expensive at all. So I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, this was the China marker. So it's like it marks on all kinds of things, on cellophane, metals, glass, and wood. And it just, you peel off the paper to reveal more of the end. And I own them in white and black and red. And they're wax, so they repel and they're not going to bleed and they're going to smear when you go over them with paint. And then just paintbrushes. So, I mean, or your fingers or whatever you want to use. So if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer them. I think at this point it doesn't necessarily occur to me what people know and don't know. And that's part of why I wanted to do this, was because it's not hard. It just takes some time, and it's not hard. And just, you can make a mess and it ends up being something really, I don't know, something really lovely in my opinion. So thank you all for being interested and curious and enjoying my work.